Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I'm here to talk about Raul Rosas Jr. versus Terrance Mitchell. Mitchell is 33 years old, 14 and 3 as a pro, and he's got 1 inch of height, and I don't know the reach, but I'm assuming it's something, over 18-year-old Rosas Jr., who is 7 and 1 as a pro. Mitchell has 14 finishes in his 14 wins, 8 by knockout or TKO, and 6 by submission. And he's got 3 losses, 2 via TKO or knockout, and 1 via decision. He lost a 5-round decision, split decision, to this guy Jesse Cruz, capable fighter. And he won the rematch, I think, by a triangle choke or something. I know I saw it. But his other 2 losses, he was knocked out by this guy Zach Eastlick, who slammed him to counter an armbar. You know, he held on to the armbar and he got picked up and slammed, and he was knocked unconscious and went into convulsions, which was definitely not a good look, but still, that's the only time he's officially been knocked out as a pro. He was TKO'd in his other loss, and it was to Cameron Simon in his last one, where he fell apart after a minute or so. Looked like he had a good minute of fight in him, and then it was just too much, and Cameron Simon drowned him, and drowned him pretty quickly by the mid to end of round 1. And just pounded the shit out of him on the ground, where Terrance Mitchell was suffocated, couldn't keep up with the jiu-jitsu attack of Cameron Simon, and the ground and pound to go along with it. Also, I should mention he was knocked out once by Kai Kara-France on The Ultimate Fighter. It was an exhibition, so it's not on his record, but he was knocked dead, and it happened in like 30 seconds. He got knocked down a few times and then put away. I know it's Kai Kara-France, and look where he is, but still, major strike against his durability. You know, flyweights shouldn't be getting knocked out like that. But here he's fighting Raul Rosas Jr., and Raul Rosas Jr. is an 18-year-old, and he is largely a grappler. He's got 7 wins, 1 via TKO, 5 via submission, and 1 via decision. His most impressive win, well, I guess, would be the submission over Jay Perrin in the UFC. Got a face crank in round 1, and Perrin, I think, is a deceptively durable guy, so that's an impressive finish. But overall, the victory he had on the Contender Series over Mando Gutierrez was maybe his best. He looked really good, fighting really hard for 15 minutes at an incredible pace, really frenetic, and even though it was a dominant victory, it wasn't, purely one-sided. He still had to work, and there were moments where he was tested, even down the stretch, and he always regained his position and just kept winning that fight, which was impressive. But we saw the exact opposite of that in his one loss, his last fight to Christian Rodriguez. Christian Rodriguez tamed him. Christian Rodriguez schooled him down the stretch. Raul Rosas Jr. looked like an 18-year-old. Came out of the gate, guns a-blazing, had a lot of success, but fell off down the stretch. And Christian Rodriguez, despite only having a few extra fights, he looked like the much more seasoned guy. He looked like the guy in his 20s, 25 or 6 years old, whatever he is. But look, that was still impressive in some respects, because Raul Rosas Jr. didn't go anywhere. He made it to the final bell. But that is a trait that I expect to show itself sooner than later in the UFC. Just not in this fight, even though I still might bet on it because I'm a degenerate. But Terrance Mitchell, he's a guy that largely wins by steamrolling opponents and shit opponents. He's beaten garbage competition, but he gets it done early, and I don't trust him later. Again, he's got a bit of Terrance McKinney in him, and he's got the same fucking name. But he's all finishes, pretty versatile, but I don't trust his durability, and I don't trust his overall skill set. I'd say he's not as talented as McKinney, of course, but I think if the going gets tough, he's going to fall in one way or another. Get knocked out or TKO'd or tapped out maybe. But he's never been submitted as a pro here. He does have the 2 TKOs and the one as an exhibition, so 3 TKO finishes. It wouldn't surprise me if Raul Rosas Jr. got him out of there any which way. Although standing knockout, I think, would really surprise me. I don't expect that. But I'm expecting Raul Rosas Jr. to win. I don't think Terrance Mitchell has the traits of a guy like Christian Rodriguez to make Raul Rosas Jr. pay down the stretch. I think Terrance Mitchell, his primary path to victory is steamrolling Raul Rosas Jr., steamrolling him early, getting the better of him early on, and getting him out of there in the first few minutes. But I don't think that's going to happen, and I might bet on it, but if that doesn't happen, which I'm not expecting it to happen, I think Raul Rosas Jr. wins the fight that Cameron Simon won. And it looks very, very similar. Might end with a submission. I think Rosas Jr. is more inclined to get the sub, but I think it'll be the same position overall. I think Rosas is going to drown Terrance Mitchell, and it'll happen in the first half of the fight. So that's the pick. I'm going with Raul Rosas Jr. Betting wise, I'm staying away from it, but you know, some of these Terrance Mitchell odds are pretty tempting. So whatever. Maybe a sprinkle on round one, but really just staying away from this and going with the massive favorite, Raul Rosas Jr. But yeah, they got those odds wrong. The way he looked in his last fight, even a newcomer with pure front runner traits shouldn't be this big of a favorite against this big of an underdog against Raul Rosas Jr. But whatever, it is what it is. Like, share, subscribe, all that horse shit, and check out my other videos.